Welcome back, everybody. It's time for our weekly check-in with Dr. Zorba Paster.
Coming up later, Dr. Zorba will answer your calls live. We'll let you know when to call in. Hi, Zorba. How are you?
Very good, thanks. How are you guys?
Good to see you.
I noticed a lot of the grocery stores and pharmacies are advertising the flu shot. Is it available already?
It is available now, and the importance of getting the flu shot cannot be overstated. If you get influenza and you get COVID, the risk of death is definitely higher. And one of the other problems is that influenza and COVID have very similar symptoms. And so if you've got your flu shot, your influenza shot, chances are you're not going to get influenza. And if you get sick, then the chances are you've got to go and get checked for COVID. So it's a real issue, something we can protect ourselves from. And let's not forget that between 35,000 and 70,000 people a year die of influenza. And when you combine influenza and COVID together, it's going to be an awful situation if you have not gotten your flu shot.
Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about that,
It's
worrying about the fall. Let's talk about a possible vaccine. And news this week that a vaccine has been developed in Russia.
Right.
What have you heard about that?
Well, first of all, I looked at the research about the vaccine in Russia, and in our country, in Europe and in Japan, we ended up testing the vaccine on literally tens of thousands of people before the vaccine came out. The Russians are rushing into delivering a vaccine that supposedly has only been tested on a couple of hundred people. So the reality is, number one, maybe they've got an antibody response, but a couple of hundred people, I'm really not sure. From a safety point of view, of course not, because they're rushing into actually doing it. To me, it means the Russians are really not ahead of the game, but basically are trying to show that they're ahead of the game. And what I would depend on is old-fashioned American know-how, technology, science, CDC, FDA, depend on that good news. And I think the Russian vaccine, I'm not sure about it because I don't think all the information coming from the Soviet Union is necessarily above board.
Where do we stand for a vaccine in this country?
There's very good evidence that sometime after the first of the year, there's going to be some vaccine available because we have major pharmaceutical companies, Pfizer, Merck, and others that are jumping on the bandwagon trying to get the vaccine out, trying to actually produce tens, if not 100 million doses of vaccine as they're actually going through the safety and efficacy trials. This is the fastest vaccine development we have ever seen, ever, in the history of the world. And frankly, we need it because once we have it, things will be better. But until then, it's important to wear your mask and stay socially distanced. And if everyone in our state did that, frankly, we would lower the curve that we have. We'd get our kids back to school, and we'd be able to open up businesses more. We've got to tamp down the curve. The way to do it is by wearing a mask and staying socially distanced and paying attention to science.
Yes, that worked in Dane County. Our numbers are going down. So, all right, 270-9933, the number to call. We'll get to your medical questions for Dr. Zorba right after this.